Happy Tuesday and welcome into the Xtra Point here on WEGL 91.1 FM or online at WEGLFM.com. I'm your host, Jared Dillon. Alongside me, it's the one, it's the only, it's Brooks Childress. Brooks, happy Tuesday.
Les bon taroule, Jared. It is Mardi Gras.
It is Mardi Gras. We're going crazy here in the studio. We actually have no decorations whatsoever, but we're celebrating the best we can.
Throw the moon pie.
The moon pie. See, we have moon pies in here. Woo. There you go. It is going to be one jam-packed show. We have so much to talk about. Colts, Patriots, the Josh McDaniels saga.
Did you say saga?
Yeah.
Saga.
Whatever. Auburn takes down Georgia, riding the ship after the one point loss to Texas A&M. And also, me and Brooks took a little trip down to Atlanta, Georgia Tech, Duke basketball. We were introduced to some ACC action. And we're going to talk about that. That's how we're going to open up the show, actually. Talking about our experiences down in Atlanta, Georgia Tech versus Duke.
I got my Georgia Tech hat on. Go Tech.
Go Tech. See, and I brought some stuff. I also have a Georgia Tech hat now.
You brought visual aids for our television audience?
Yes, for anybody who wants to see us in our lovely Georgia Tech hats. You know, you can also catch the Xtra Point on Eagle Eye TV, Channel 6.
Hashtag shameless plug.
Or online at eagleeyeauburn.com or the Eagle Eye YouTube page. That'll be 5 o'clock today, a couple hours after the show ends. I really can't get the hat on because the headset, but I committed to Georgia Tech on Sunday.
It's weird seeing you wearing a Georgia Tech hat and an Auburn shirt.
Well, Brooks, we keep mentioning this. This is where I wear every show.
Every single show.
It
upsets me.
For people listening on the radio, every single show, I wear the same Auburn pullover. It is a jacket. It's okay to wear the same jacket. Okay? I just want to point that out. It's not like it's a shirt. But it's a pullover.
But you have other pullovers that you can wear.
Yes, but this is my Xtra Point pullover. I need to get Xtra Point embroidered on it. Now I'll mess it up, and my contract with Under Armour. I don't have that.
Yeah, not yet.
But anyway, if you want to call in, right before we get to our Georgia Tech story, if you want to call in, you can call in at 334-844-9345. That's 334-844-9345. The lovely Brooks Childress will answer the phone.
We really need an intern.
We really need an intern. So we're also going to put out applications. If you want to put in an application, be an intern, call in at 334-844-9345.
We cannot give you pay and or college credit. I am sorry.
And honestly, we can't even guarantee that we would be nice to you. I'm not a nice person.
I would be nice to you. Whoever
Brooks
you are.
would be nice.
Yeah.
Whoever you may be. Also, as we get into our Georgia Tech story, I also got this plushie.
You can throw that too.
I'm not gonna throw them. I got this Georgia Tech plushie. It's Buzzy the Yellow Jacket. Apparently, no, his name's Buzz.
It's just Buzzy.
It's Buzz the Yellow Jacket. And I don't want to call him Buzz because that's the name of the mascot. So if you want to call in and give me ideas about what to name my plushie, it's not very manly when I keep saying plushie, is it?
Yeah, no.
No? Oh, I'll live with it. You can call in at 334-844-9345.
You let the manly ship sail when you bought it.
It's true. Remember you said...
Especially how much money you paid for that, which we're not going to reveal.
We're not going to talk about that. Do you remember the lie I told you while standing in line about why I bought it? And I said, I'm going to get it for my niece.
Yeah.
I only said that to make the purchase feel better. She will never see this. She will never see it. Because then it will be destroyed within 2 minutes.
I mean, I think it would scare her, too. It's not the most attractive mascot.
All right.
Although, Georgia Tech, buzz.
Better than Clemson. That thing's on something. Anyway, let's get into our Georgia Tech story. All right, so we went to Atlanta. As my mic is messing up.
Are you destroying our equipment?
I'm falling apart right now.
Good job.
So we went to Atlanta to go to the Georgia Tech game. We went to Atlanta to go to the Georgia Tech game, and what would you say was the atmosphere? It was sold out, so it was nice.
I mean, was it sold out? It was close to sell.
It was okay. Okay, so technically all the tickets were sold. Now, was there a button in every seat? Probably not. But
all the tickets were sold, so that's a sellout.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it was a good atmosphere. There was a lot of blue.
A lot of blue.
But then again, it is Duke, and they do travel well.
I was...
Or now we know.
Take away all the Georgia Tech merch that I have posted up over here on the side. I did root for Duke. Duke is the second favorite team in Jared Dillard's heart. Behind Auburn, of course. And I enjoyed it. I thought we got good seats. We were
in the upper deck, but it didn't feel like
it didn't feel like it. We were like right on top of the action. It felt like we had a good view of everything. We didn't get any food, so we really can't rate the food.
No, but they did have like chicken and waffles or something. Was their meal of the game?
Their meal of the game was like chicken and waffles. They were doing some weird stuff. Parking wasn't bad.
No, although it's a really nice. Georgia Tech's a decent campus. I've been there. This is my second time there. Yeah, this is my second time on Georgia Tech's campus. It's a nice campus, especially for being in downtown Atlanta.
So the highlights of the trip probably were all near halftime, second half. Let's see. So we got this all Red Panda again.
If you don't know, Red Panda is a would you say an acrobat?
Sure.
She's an acrobat that rides around on. She performs at all these different basketball halftimes. She was here last year, but she goes around and performs at all these NBA halftimes. She's really like everyone in the NBA loves her. Everyone in the NBA loves her so much that she rides around on a unicycle, a very tall unicycle.
Yeah, it's very tall.
So when a few weeks ago, wasn't it, she had it stolen. Someone stole it from her, and the Golden State Warriors bought her a new one.
Very nice by them. And
she catches bowls on her head.
Yeah.
That's all the act is it's a lady, she rides around on a very tall unicycle, and she throws bowls from her foot, and they land on her head.
I can barely carry a bowl, so I'm impressed.
But, yeah, like, it's a very simplistic, like, concept, but it's so fascinating, and it's very entertaining.
Let's see. The Georgia Tech dancers, I guess it did like almost kind of like a flash mob, but not really. Where, remember the Georgia Tech dancers started dancing, and then all the police officers jumped in? And then all the police officers and emergency services jumped in. They started dancing along to Bruno Mars. Finesse. They were finessing.
It was pretty funny.
Brooks, are you dripping in finesse?
No.
I was really hoping they said it don't make no sense. I thought we had that kind of chemistry.
We could, but I shot it down.
Do I need to tee you up one more time? Do you want to do this one more time?
No, because it's over. It's over. Just move on.
Moving on. Duke ended up getting the win over Georgia Tech.
It was a good game.
They had a 28-point lead.
Even though Duke basically blew them out of the water, there was a time in the second half where Georgia Tech was making a big run, and it was really exciting.
We saw a man fly through the air.
Yeah, we saw a man fly that day.
We saw a man. I don't even know who it was. I was half paying attention to the game, to be quite honest. I kept taking my Georgia Tech hat on and off when they were doing good, and when they weren't.
You're a bad Duke fan.
I'm a horrible Duke fan. But speaking of, let's go into the AP Top 25 now.
No, seamless transition.
Seamless transition. All right. So, Duke, or I'm not going to start with Duke. Let's go with Auburn. Auburn, 10th in the country. Okay. Was number 8, lost to A&M, but got the big win over Georgia. They're now 10th. The NCAA recently released their top 16 teams. Okay. So this is something that they do, I think it's 3 times. And Auburn was one of the 2 seeds in the Midwest. I think we were paired up with Villanova.
No, because Villanova, didn't they have Villanova's number 1 overall seed?
Yes, but I'm saying we were in their...
No, we weren't in their region.
Was it Virginia then?
We were in the Midwest.
With?
I think it was Virginia. We also need our research team back.
It started with a V. Okay, let's go with that. It was either Villanova or Virginia. Either way, Auburn is sitting pretty at a 2 seed. And once again, I always like to point out to people, after that loss in the exhibition game against Berry College, nobody would have thought we were sitting at where we're sitting. I think we are going to be in the Virginia region.
I'm trying to look it up now.
The interesting part now is that on that list, Auburn's number 5. So Auburn is literally an arm's reach away from being a 1 seed, right behind Purdue. So it's Virginia, Villanova, Purdue's the 4, and then Auburn is 5. So now, this goes into Wednesday, Valentine's Day. There may be some broken hearts when Auburn takes on Kentucky here at home at the 8 Central tip. I can't imagine the lines. I can't imagine the atmosphere.
We were in Virginia's bracket.
We're in Virginia's bracket. I can't imagine the line that will be forming outside of Auburn Arena for this game. I really don't.
I've heard sources. I have sources now because I'm a I have journalistic integrity. That there are some people that will be getting there as early as 3:00 in the afternoon to get in line for a game at 8:00 where doors don't open until 6:30.
I mean, this is a big game. Now it's lost its luster because Kentucky is no longer ranked. And I don't know.
I mean, it's lost not much of its luster because it is still Kentucky.
It's still Kentucky, but it's not as sweet.
I mean, it'll still be sweet because you're going to have Big Blue Nation travel with them anyway.
Yeah, but
Kentucky travels well. You're going to have all the Kentucky fans, the obnoxious Kentucky fans that are like, "Oh, our basketball team's so much better than everyone," and they usually are. But
it's just not as sweet. It's like going to a restaurant and you want the birthday cake ice cream, but they only have vanilla and they put sprinkles on it. It's not the same. It's still good, but it ain't the same.
I mean, I think it'll be just. It was not going to be like beating a number 1 Kentucky or a ranked Kentucky, but it's still beating Kentucky. You're still beating a blue blood at your own house.
But
if you win,
it's not birthday cake. It's not. Do you get what I'm saying? Do you get what I'm putting? Do you get this?
I mean, I can see the comparison, but it's still going to be a really big win for all.
No, it will be a really big win. I just wish it was more sweeter.
Well, you can't have your cake and eat it too. See what I did there, Mr. Birthday Cake Ice Cream?
Okay. And so, Georgia Tech, Duke, Auburn, top 10 in the nation. Let's talk about another game right quick, and it's only because you really rooted for them last year. Gonzaga took on St. Mary's. Remember, we watched that game together.
Yeah.
Wasn't close.
Like half watched it, really.
We were half on our phone, half watching it on the Watch ESPN app. And I don't know why people thought St. Mary's. I get why they were good. First of all, I also want to point out that they play in a rec center. Like, it looks like a rec center.
Yeah, it's not the most impressive arena.
It's not. And Gonzaga, they're such a scary team to play against.
Gonzaga's a really good basketball school. Well, that's all they have is basketball.
I mean, do they have anything else that you can think of?
Sure, I'm sure they do. I'm sure they got tennis, I think. Maybe. I think we played them in tennis like a year ago. It may have been Samford. I may just be getting mascots confused.
I think you are. I mean, they're kind of the same color, kind of same concept.
But I mean, Gonzaga's always a team that you're going to be looking at when it comes to March. And Mark Few has got a great program out there, and he can always have Gonzaga in the top 25, maybe the top 10. They always are due for a March run. You know what game I want to talk about real quick?
What?
Game last Thursday. The biggest rivalry in college.
Is it UNC Duke?
UNC Duke.
The Battle of Tobacco Road.
Game 1 of like 5, because they'll end up meeting in like ACC tournament or something.
They'll meet 3 times this year.
I watched the whole game, and I thought it was a good game. Even though I say even though Duke lost, I don't care who won. But it was a good game. It was a good North Carolina-Duke rivalry game.
You know what team I want to get in right quick before this commercial break?
What?
The most frustrating to figure out team is Alabama in college basketball.
Watching Alabama basketball infuriates me. Do you know why?
Why?
Because they beat ranked teams and then they lose to everyone else. It's the most infuriating thing. If you just took them on their, like, if you looked at them come tournament time and said, all right, we're not going to care about your record. We're just going to look at your resume. They'd have one of the best resumes in the country because they keep beating ranked teams.
You beat Auburn. You beat Tennessee. You crushed Tennessee, but you lose to Missouri.
It's infuriating because you're like, if you're going to be good, be good. Don't just like be the upset team.
Alabama, make up your mind already. Either it's the NCAA tournament or it's
and they beat Oklahoma. They beat Oklahoma too.
I mean, it's easy to do when you only have one player.
There's still a top 25 Oklahoma. It's infuriating. Just be good or don't be. Pick one.
Pick either the dance or NIT. I don't care what you do. With that being said, we're going to go to commercial break, and when we come back, we're going to talk Colts, Patriots, the Josh McDaniels saga.
Whoa.
See? I did it again.
Well, at least you said it right this time.
Saga?
Saga.
Sega, whatever, Genesis. Anyway. And when we come back, we'll talk that and more here on the Extra Point here on WEGL 91.1 FM or online at WEGLFM.com.
This is a place where it only takes a second to imagine your future. Grasp a new concept in class. Inspire a child's curiosity. Discover a real-world solution. Seize an unexpected opportunity.
There goes Davis!
This is where you gain the preparation, confidence, and determination to succeed. This is Auburn.
So, I'm kind of new here, but I've noticed a trend. My human does this funny thing where she goes around and gets all my toys, and then she hides them in that basket by the door. It's like, hello? That's where you put it last time. You were the worst at hide and go seek.
And welcome back into the Extra Point here on WEGL 91.1 FM or online at WEGLFM.com. You can also catch us on our SoundCloud and iTunes page at WEGL 91.1. If you want to catch us and our beautiful faces and Georgia Tech hats, you can catch us on Eagle Eye TV, Channel 6, or at eagleeyeauburn.com. See, there we go. We got everything in.
All shameless plugs, promotions. Do you want to extend the podcast time out, or is that next break?
I don't even say it anymore because I have no idea when the podcast goes up. Because it goes up same day.
Every week we've started out, and just to point out to people who haven't, paid attention, like most of our audience probably. We're background noise in like a dentist office or something. You started out with like 10 minutes after the show, it's going to be up. And then it's progressively gotten longer.
We were good at that last year when we didn't have to worry about the TV side, but we had to get all the clips together, and it's a whole mess. And I'm not gonna bore anybody with that kind of information, but you can catch us on SoundCloud and on TV. So hey, look, the way I see it, it's a win-win for whoever decides to take a look at us. Isn't that right, Brooks?
Sure, why not? I don't know what you were saying. I had to be intern.
Yeah, we really need an intern. Was that somebody bringing in the application?
Maybe. We've got a caller.
All right. Well, let's put him on.
We've got Chris from Auburn on the line once again this week. Hey, Chris.
Hey, Chris.
Hey, guys. How you doing?
Doing well. How are you doing, Chris?
I can't complain, guys. Listen, I really value your opinion, but I was just confused this entire weekend. So let me talk to you, all right?
Well, Chris, the first thing is that, to open the Tide Pod, you have to, undo the zip now because I have a little childproof thing on it. You have to, push down and...
No.
Yeah, hold on. I don't think... that's a different show.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's Martha Stewart.
What happened last Thursday? I mean, at the trade deadline, it felt like the Cleveland Cavaliers just said goodbye to everybody.
It's almost like Kentucky's sophomore day or senior day, whatever they may call it, when all the one and dones leave.
I don't think Duke, North Carolina, well, maybe North Carolina, but Kentucky, all the Blue Bloods, they don't have a senior day.
Do you think they got better?
The Cavs?
The Cavs,
I think they got better, but
they got younger.
I don't think it's gonna matter in the long run because they're not gonna beat Golden State, nor did I think they can beat Houston. And
Now,
I don't know if they can still beat. It's ironic. I say I don't know if they can still beat Boston, even though they like ran them over.
Okay,
the
that's
other
what I was
night.
going to ask you. Have they played a game together yet?
Yes, they have played a game together. They played
Not fully together, though. They haven't gotten that starting lineup down yet. But they still beat Boston with some of their new pieces in there on Sunday by a decent margin.
And one of those key pieces, Shetty Osman.
He's not a key. Oh, my gosh.
He's gonna be a Cav also.
Good at basketball still.
I think he's okay.
Look. Everybody keeps talking about Isaiah Thomas and he's not gonna be that same IT from last year in the playoffs. Like it's gonna be fine. He's coming back from a hip injury. Yes, sure, he's not doing shooting well. He came off the bench for the Lakers against the Mavericks. Did well, put up 22 points. I mean, sure, he may have had a couple of plays where he wasn't looking the same. But he was playing with a new team, so you got to give him a pass. Look, Isaiah Thomas is going to be fine. I don't know if he stays with the Lakers. I got to assume that the Lakers will probably let him walk because they really want to free up that cap space to go after some big stars. Or maybe, Isaiah Thomas does come back around, and you know what? He's worth the investment. But Isaiah Thomas will be back. He's going to be a good player. And you just got to give him time. Like when Gordon Hayward comes back, it's not going to be the same Gordon Hayward. He's going to have to get in there a little bit and kind of work at it. So just give Isaiah Thomas some time.
What about Dwayne Wade? Is his career done?
I think he's gonna play for a year, maybe 2-3 more years down in Miami. But
36.
I think he'll be fine. He'll play 2 or 3 more years, and then he'll be retire in Miami. I think he's where he's going to retire.
The Cavs sent Dwayne Wade to Miami along with a nice little folding chair, and he's gonna pull up on a hill. And the Suns
folding chair?
Yes, it's folding chair. It's the Cavs, okay?
You couldn't give him a rocking chair?
No, that's what LeBron's contract took too much. The sun is setting on Dwayne Wade, and he knows that, and it's good for it to end in Miami. So when he does retire, I hope Chris Bosh is there with him.
Well, who won the trade deadline? Who won?
Who won the trade deadline?
I will have to say,
if I'm being biased, the Mavericks could have Dougie McBuckets, Doug McDermott.
I want to say, I think having all the moves, I think the Cavs won because they got younger. I think before this, I don't think they could beat the Celtics in a 7-game series, even with LeBron James. But now that they've gotten younger, I think they have a chance to beat the Celtics, they're not going to beat Golden State, I don't think, but I think they'll get back to the finals now with all these changes. So I'd have to say Cleveland, especially because they unloaded a subpar Isaiah Thomas.
And Shumpert.
Let me go ahead and tell you who won the deadline, all right?
All right, Chris, who won the deadline?
Wait. Is it the fans?
And no. Let me tell you who won the trade deadline, and then I want to hear what you guys have to say, okay?
All right.
And I'll hang up and listen on this, okay? But I think, and this trade happened well before the deadline actually on the day, but I want to hear your thoughts on the Pistons getting Blake Griffin because they've only lost 1 game since they got him.
It's a good trade for the Pistons. Andre Drummond, Blake Griffin. I mean, I keep trying to make this comparison, but it's not a very good comparison. The bad boy Pistons. But I don't know. We still got to see how it works out, especially for Blake Griffin, because we know he does suffer from a good bit of injuries. So, like, what good is Blake Griffin going to do if he goes down? Thanks, Chris. What good is Blake Griffin going to do when he goes down and he's gone for, 20 to 25 games? Then at that point, is it still a good trade? No, the Pistons, I mean, they're making a run. I'm going to pull up the NBA standings right quick because the Pistons are sitting in a nice the Pistons up. There they are.
Good job.
So, I I had to remember where the Pistons are at. I mean, the Pistons,
Eastern Conference.
They're sitting in a nice spot. They're 9th. All right, so they're 3 games.
Outside.
They're 3 games behind the Heat for the 8th seed. 3 games behind the Heat and the Sixers for the 8th seed. They're 27 and 29. And I mean, the Pistons they're doing their best trying to make that run. I mean, it's a 9-man race in the East right now because I don't see the Hornets, who are right behind the Pistons, I don't see them making a run. They're just not built for that.
I think it's a good move for Detroit getting Blake Griffin, although he has been known to have locker room problems. So if they can keep him his off the court antics under control, and if they get him, 1 or 2 pieces that are not necessarily superstars, but someone that he can work with, I think it'll make this trade much more viable and much more, beneficial in the Pistons' eyes to make a run into the playoffs in future years, and maybe to the Eastern Conference Finals. But that's a long way off.
I want to go ahead and apologize. I keep talking about the Cavs and Celtics like it's a 2-person race in the East. Toronto is first in the East, and we have to give them a little bit of love because they're playing well. They won 5 in a row. They're 8 for the last 10 games, and the Raptors are doing good things. The Wizards are only a game and a half behind the Cavs too. The Cavs can easily fall back to. Honestly, if the Cavs had gone a 3-game losing streak, they could easily fall back to 6.
But you see, the thing about it is now that the trade deadline's passed, Cavs made moves. LeBron's interested again.
He's interested,
and so they've been losing. I think they got LeBron is like, okay, now we can do something, and now he's going to start being LeBron, leading the team. All the young guys are going to help him to get back to the finals. He may, I don't think he's going to catch Boston or Toronto, but I think, they'll get back as like a 3 seed and then make it to the finals.
And over in the Western Conference, because, we got to touch on the Western Conference, Golden State is your number 1 team, but a game behind them and trying to scrap their way there on an 8-game winning streak, winning 9 of the last 10, are the Houston Rockets. And then after that, the San Antonio Spurs and the Minnesota Timberwolves round out your top 4. A big surprise, the Denver Nuggets are 7th in the West, followed by the New Orleans Pelicans.
You know what is really surprising to me?
What?
The Spurs are 3rd in the West.
But they're 9.5 games back?
They have not been, but they're 3rd in the West. If you said, here's the Spurs' performance this year.
Yeah.
And I looked at their performance. I've watched their performances a lot of them. I've watched, I've read the box score for them. I have Spurs updates set on my phone for at least a few more weeks till the playoffs start. If you told me the Spurs are sitting at 3rd, I'm like, you're nuts. They have not been. I don't think they're a 3rd place team in the West. The Spurs have been very inconsistent this year, and I think some of their age is showing.
I think for all intents and purposes, we can go ahead and say that the West is down to the Warriors and Rockets. We can we can go ahead and say
you can say that, but it's never a done deal.
It's never a done deal, but I've never seen 2 teams dominate. I mean, the way I've seen the Warriors, obviously for the past couple of years, and the Rockets. I mean, the Rockets. There was that one patch where I was like, well, what are they even doing? And then now it's just like, well, I see what they're doing now.
Yeah. I think
James Harden's beard puts up points now.
I mean, didn't it always? It's like a third arm comes out of his beard and lays the ball up.
And gets hand ones.
Yeah. I think that's going to be an interesting, if it comes down to it, which it probably will, that's going to be an interesting Western Conference Finals. It's the Rockets and the Warriors. I think that has, if you're looking at it, you're like Rockets, Warriors, Cavs, Celtics. I think Rockets, Warriors has a better chance to go 7 games than the Cavs, Celtics.
Probably, because
it's 2 very competitive teams, 2 teams that love the 3. James Harden, Chris Paul are going to fight to the end. Steph and Durant and Clay, they're always going to be great. It's going to go 7 games. I think if LeBron over in the East, him and the Cavs can get start off win the first one or 2 games, I think he'll be fine. He'll be like, all right, so they can win 1 or 2 maybe, but I think Cleveland will be fine.
We didn't even get to talk about the Colts and the Patriots and Josh McDaniels and all that.
It's called a tease.
Called a tease.
We got into the NBA. Chris got us into the NBA.
Chris got us into the NBA, and we couldn't stop. We were going to talk about it anyway, but when we come back from this commercial break, hopefully, unless there's another caller who wants to talk about some sports,
or Sprots.
We're going to talk about the Colts, the Patriots, Josh McDaniels, and all that nasty mess that's going on in the NFL. If you want to call in and talk to us, you can call in at 334-844-9345. I still want somebody to call in and name my plushie for me that I got from Georgia Tech.
I think it should be Buzz.
I don't want to go with the mascot's name.
That's what its name is, Jared.
I don't care. If you want to help me with that, remember, you can call in at 334-844-9345. You're listening to Extra Point here on WEGL 91.1 FM or online at WEGLFM.com.
If you don't fix them, sparks from dragging tow chains could cause a wildfire, and that could be scary. Hi, Smokey. Only you can prevent wildfires.
See on page 4 that the projections need to be tornado next Thursday.
Seriously? Thursday? Can't do that.
This is really inconvenient.
I have yoga that day. I have no time for this. So.
I can't do Thursday, but I can do Friday.
Disasters don't plan ahead. You can. Talk to your loved ones about how you're going to be ready in an emergency. Don't wait. Communicate.
Welcome back into I messed up.
Good job.
I messed up. I'm off my A game. I'm off my A game right now. Welcome back into the studio. You're listening to Extra Point here on WEGL 91.1 FM or online at WEGLFM.com.
Jared, I'm gonna have to replace you.
You won't do it. You don't have the cojones to replace me.
You went like full Cuban there. I'm scared now.
Yeah,
I'm
you
not
better be. Nah, you don't mess with me now. Oh man. If you want to call in and talk some sports, or if you heard our Georgia Tech story, got a plushie from Georgia Tech, it's the mascot. I want help naming him. You can call in at 334-844-9345. That's 334-844-9345.
Just name it Buzz.
I'm not going to name it Buzz.
Just
I don't want to name it the mascot. We went over this.
You can name it Stinger.
You know, I'm glad we're arguing right now because we're going to be arguing a lot in the next 15 minutes.
You can name it Stinger.
No.
Stinger's a great name. It's a tough name.
No.
It gives you back some of the manly quality.
No.
That's not there, but, you know.
No.
Hey, don't throw stuff at me.
I'm glad I picked up on the mic. I just threw that moon pie at you. All right. Colts, Patriots. Colts, Patriots. Let's get into that.
Mardi Gras actually here. I got hit in the head with a moon pie.
Colts, Patriots. You ready?
Sure.
All right.
Are you gonna play like dramatic music? Or
no, I'm not gonna go dramatic.
Okay, good.
I do have a dramatic music, but I won't go there.
Okay, good.
All right, so Brooks, we don't hide our affiliations with teams that are close to our heart.
No.
You've recently got over.
I've taken my jacket off twice on the show to reveal Patriots gear.
So this is where the interesting part comes in. Brooks is a connoisseur of the Patriots.
Very much so.
And I am a Colts connoisseur. So,
just got a little bit awkward.
Last week has been a little bit awkward for both of us.
I'm not awkward. I don't feel awkward.
Okay.
I'm fine.
So Josh McDaniels he is the offensive coordinator for the New England Patriots. He agreed. I want to point out, he agreed to be the Colts coach. He did not sign a contract. He just agreed on principle to become the new head coach of the Indianapolis Colts.
See.
Because he couldn't sign the contract because the Patriots are still in the playoffs. Okay? That's the rule the NFL has. So, Patriots get to the Super Bowl, and they lose to the Eagles. And it's assumed that within the next couple of days, Josh McDaniels becomes the head coach of the Indianapolis Colts. That's usually how it just goes. Okay? Once again, he did not sign the contract. So, the Colts, so everybody knows this. The Colts are tweeting it out. They're getting the press conference ready. They even say, we have a press conference. We're going to introduce Josh McDaniels as our coach. It's all looking good, okay? Then it comes out the day before the press conference. Josh McDaniels backs out. He's like, I don't want to do this. Not that the Colts would have been a bad fit, but I'm going to stay in New England because I think that's where I'm at. I think that's better for my family. I think it's better for my future. I'm going to back out. Set the world on fire. That single moment. You didn't want to go on Twitter. You didn't want to go to any Patriots message boards. You didn't want to do anything.
No, you didn't want to go to Patriots message boards were upbeat and happy. It's the Colts ones that were burning things down.
Colts and the other 30 NFL teams. Come on, Brooks, you know everybody doesn't like the Patriots. This is your thing.
Everyone just hates greatness.
So, Josh McDaniels backs out, and the Colts are left high and dry, so to speak, trying to find a new head coach. The Colts have hired a new head coach that came through Sunday on our trip to Atlanta. That the Colts have agreed to terms with offensive coordinator for the Philadelphia Eagles.
You might want to watch out, though.
Frank Wright. No. See, it's funny. No, wait, where are you going with this?
I was looking over here at my Twitter, and they one of the Colts beat reporters just tweeted out that they've got a press conference set up to introduce a new coach within an hour.
See, it's funny you say that because the Colts also thought the same thing. So they tweeted out that, he was going to be the new coach, and he's signing the contract, right? And everybody was like, yeah, we don't trust this. So then the Indianapolis Star, the newspaper over there, had the headline that he became the new head coach, and he held it up for them and took a picture with it. It's kind of the whole, I forget which presidential election it was.
I think it was Truman. One of Truman.
And Dewey, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was the same concept that they did.
Yeah, I think it was, Truman.
So they had a little bit of fun with it. But the Colts hire Eagles offensive coordinator Frank Wright to a 5-year deal to be the new head coach of the Indianapolis Colts. Now, that segues into this. Josh McDaniels, it's reported that the reason why he stayed behind, was family, which understandable.
I mean, that's a big decision, is to uproot your family from somewhere he's been for a few years and move them to a whole new city. I mean, that's all coaches have to go through that, but it's still a big decision.
The big one was, it seems as though that Bill Belichick is going to open up the Holy Bible, so to speak, for Josh McDaniels and teach his young Padawan the ways. Okay? I like that reference. See, I don't even watch it, and I knew what was going on.
It just upsets me a little bit that you use a Star Wars reference and you don't watch Star Wars.
Wait, it's not Star Trek?
Jared, you can do the rest of the show by yourself.
But he's opening up this guide to being a great head coach to Josh McDaniels, which, if there's one head coach you want to learn under, it's Bill Belichick. It is.
Nick Saban did it. And guess what Nick Saban's doing?
Don't remind us.
He's winning national championships.
So it seems like the report is that when Josh McDaniels went to the stadium that same day, he decided to stay. He was going there to clean out his office. That he was gone. But Bill Belichick
and Robert Kraft.
Don't forget Robert Kraft changed his mind. Now, we're still waiting on when his new deal comes through because it's assumed that he will get a new deal. But Josh McDaniels is still offensive coordinator for the Patriots. His agent, who ironically is also the agent for the Colts GM Chris Ballard, dropped Josh McDaniels, saying that the move he was making, backing out on the Colts, was just atrocious. That wasn't the word he actually used, but it was bad, and it was a bad career move. So much that, I mean, obviously agents got to, do what's best for them, but he dropped Josh McDaniels as one of his whatever they want to call it, clients.
He could, I'm sure Josh could get like Jim. Who's Nick Saban's agent? Sexton. He can get Sexton as his new agent. That'd be a good fit.
So Brooks.
Yes. You want my thoughts?
Was the outrage warranted?
By who? Colts fans?
Just in general.
I mean, being a Patriot fan, I was not. I had accepted. I had accepted the move that because Matt Patricia left, or like 2 days before he went to the Lions. He was introduced. He's gone. I had accepted that we were losing McDaniels too, and I'm like, okay, this is gonna be fine. We'll get someone new. And then when he comes back, I was really happy. But I think the outrage is justified because you had an agreement. You thought the fans said, "This is our new guy. He's going to lead us. He's a great offensive coordinator. We're going to have Andrew Luck and a great offensive coordinator with us. It's going to be great." And then he backs out and comes back to the Patriots. I think the anger is justified. I don't blame anyone for any Colts fans or anyone. Well, everyone else is, just mad because it's the Patriots. I don't blame the Colts fans for being mad because you had a new head coach and then he backed out of the deal.
I don't hate Josh McDaniels. I wouldn't hate him even if, he, gave us two certain fingers up in the air.
I just want to know, was it just because, the thing is, everyone's like, oh, it was because it was Belichick and Kraft talked him out of it, and that's probably a big part of it. But I wonder if McDaniels got word of if something's worse wrong with Andrew Luck's shoulder, because that's one of the big rumors. Is that
apparently he was okay with Andrew Luck. That
anyone.
Andrew Luck wasn't a problem.
I think the Colts job. No offense, Jared. I don't think the Colts job's that great of a job. Right now, it was probably
one of the best jobs that was out there.
Well,
I mean, who was a better job?
What out of who?
Out of all the coach openings that there was, who was the better job?
What was open? The Lions was open. Who?
The Giants were open. The Giants were the team that said that they felt he had cold feet, and so they didn't pursue him that much.
You see, GM-wise, I think the Colts is a great job because Chris Ballard's a great GM. He can build that team. The uncertainty with Andrew Luck's shoulder. If Andrew Luck's fully healthy, it's a great head coaching job for an offensive coach. The negative side is you've got one of the worst owners in the NBA, in the NFL.
Yeah,
Jim Irsay's
he's not a Donald Sterling. Okay, calm down.
Jim Irsay's not the greatest owner.
He's had some problems.
And the uncertainty with Andrew Luck's shoulder is two negative qualities that cancel out. Not necessarily cancel out, but it's two negative qualities against a positive one, which is Chris Ballard. Now, if Andrew Luck is,
I don't think Andrew Luck was the problem.
If Andrew Luck is for sure healthy or going to be healthy by the start of next year, he's going to come back and play. I'd take the job in a heartbeat.
All the signs are pointing that he's going to be healthy. He's going to start throwing soon with the same.
They've said that about 3 times.
That's true, but he's going to start throwing soon. With the same company that Tom Brady throws with, and Drew Brees, and all of them. So he's okay. Now, will he be ready for spring training or this date or that date? Not sure, but he's getting there. Okay, so now I still think the Colts were the best job available. I don't see any other job that. I mean, maybe the Titans.
I mean, I don't think the Lions is a bad job, even though you're competing against not Andrew Luck. Who's there? Yeah, the Aaron Rodgers. I don't have facts today. Because you've got a decent quarterback with Matthew Stafford, and I think Matthew Stafford can, like with Patricia, Matthew Stafford can keep the offense going while Patricia builds the defense, and that can be they can compete for in the North, because you don't know necessarily how Minnesota's going to rebound after last year. If Aaron Rodgers is healthy, Packers are a contender. If he's not, the Packers are nothing, as we saw this year. The Bears have not reached the point where they can compete well with Mitchell Trubisky yet. I think Mitchell Trubisky's a good quarterback, and he'll be there for a few years. But I think the Lions was a good job. Giants is not necessarily a good job because you need a quarterback there. I don't think Eli Manning's their quarterback for much longer.
I'm just going to say this. Josh McDaniels, he probably did the right thing. Stay in New England.
I mean, if it's true and Belichick is opening up, the Belichick Bible and going to teach him how to be a head coach and pass the head coach, if they're going to pass the head coaching down in, 2 or 3 years whenever Belichick retires and say, here, Josh, you take the wheel, then I think that's fine.
However, I will say this. If Josh McDaniels for some reason gets fired from New England, or he takes the head coaching position and he pulls a Browns and doesn't win for 2 years, I'm not going to shed one single tear for him.
They just need a quarterback. I think they need a quarterback that they can develop while Brady's still there, like they did Garoppolo. Oh, got rid of Garoppolo.
We didn't even talk about that. Jimmy Garoppolo, highest paid player in the NFL. That's nice. He's doing good for himself.
He really is. I think he's going to deserve that money within a few years, too. Maybe even next year. He may prove it next year. He deserves that money. He's going to be great.
Did you say 49ers Super Bowl 53? Is that what I heard?
Listen, Colin Cowherd said that yesterday on his podcast, is that they are a dark horse candidate. And he said that last year about the Eagles, too, this time.
49ers. Jacksonville Jaguars. Super Bowl 53. Book it. Garoppolo versus Bortles. You're listening to the Extra Point here on WEGL 91.1 FM or online at WEGLFM.com.
Fans, direct your attention to the flagpole for a special presentation.
You never really leave Auburn, because Auburn never leaves you.
So, I just moved in with this family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I was born and I knew how to use the litter box. Look at that. That's disgusting. Oh, poop already. You're making me nervous. Oh, okay, I can't look at this anymore. I really hope he grows out of this, for his sake.
I hope that you've been able to learn a strong work ethic surrounded by character, integrity, perseverance, so that when your 1 second comes, you'll be prepared for it.
Chris Davis.
45, there goes Davis!
Your 1 second, our 1 second is now. And our lives have been guided by the principles of one of the greatest academic institutions in the country, Auburn University.
And welcome back into the final minutes of the Extra Point here on WEGL 91.1 FM or online at WEGLFM.com. I'm your host, Jared Dillard. Alongside me is Brooks Childress. And Brooks, what are we segueing into for this last 5 minutes?
Well, we don't have a game this week.
We don't. No, well.
I wasn't unable to find something.
You let our fans down. What is Chris from Auburn going to do now?
I don't know. Probably talk about the Cavs some more.
Probably.
Why don't we talk about the Winter Olympics? Have you watched any of it?
Oh, my gosh. I know how we almost got wrapped into watching curling at 12:30 at night.
You want to know something?
What?
You know what I did for like an hour and a half yesterday?
What?
I watched curling. It was live. It was on the afternoon.
Was the United States competing?
Nope. It was Switzerland versus Olympic athletes from Russia.
Ah.
So not actually Russia, but just Olympic athletes.
We should hold our own like Winter Olympics here in student media. But instead of like actual like sports, it's like stuff you do around the office.
I mean, you could still do curling, technically sweep.
Yeah. Do you think Carl can join the Weagle team? Carl the janitor? If you're in the student center, you know who Carl the janitor is.
I don't know. He could.
He's gonna make clean and great again.
He is. But have you watched any of the Winter Olympics?
I mean, yeah.
Okay, what have you watched? I'm calling you out. I'm calling it out.
I don't know. I'm trying to figure out the name of the event. It's the one we watched at the apartment. It's It's like the downhill. The one like the flying squirrels.
The ski jump.
Yeah, there we go.
Ski jump. Okay.
They're like flying squirrels.
Is that all you've watched?
And curling.
When did you watch curling?
ESPN highlights.
Okay, so you didn't officially watch curling.
And then like, because of the timing of the Winter Olympics, I just watch a lot of highlights. I don't sit there and watch it.
I mean, I think that's what a lot of people do, but you still got primetime stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just all in it for the hockey, to be quite honest.
Well,
do you know when hockey starts?
There's already there's women's hockey right now.
I bet we're gonna win that. I don't care. I'm talking about USA men's hockey. The women already got this. I have all the confidence in them.
I don't know when that starts. It may already be starting, and I just haven't seen it. May not be broadcast live yet.
I mean, I'm all in it for the hockey, men's and women's, but the women already they're gonna win.
I just want to say, curling has swept the nation. There's so many people that talk about curling.
Was that a pun intended? Curling has swept the nation.
Look at that. That was pun unintended, but now it's intended. Woo! It has swept the nation.
Put on my Georgia Tech hat.
J.J. Watt tweeted the other day wearing a USA curling shirt.
I mean, because curling is like an everyday thing that people do made into an Olympic sport.
It's so intriguing to watch because there's so much strategy. You wouldn't think there's much strategy in like sliding pieces of rock down a sheet of ice.
No.
But there's so much strategy because you've got like one. You always set up one that's like a guard right in the middle, so you can't like sweep it straight down. So you have to like curl it. Literally curling.
You gotta
curl it around the guard rock.
You gotta bend the bullet, like it's the movie Wanted.
Yeah.
No. You gotta curve the bullet.
Yeah. I'm very I've never.
You want to know something ironic? That's the second time I brought up the movie Wanted today.
I'm shook. I really like watching curling. I don't know what it is, but it's like. I don't know if I'll watch it like all the time because I never see it on besides the Winter Olympics.
Yeah.
Although I think there's Curling Night in America, which is a thing.
If I want to see like curling like at home, I would just go like to my mom's house and like just watch her sweep because that's pretty much like the same thing. And just to roll a ball while she's sweeping. Like, Jared, what are you doing? I'm watching curling, Mom. And she like beats me with a broom.
Wow.
That's called living in the country.
Sure. Yeah. I've really liked watching curling. I watched a little bit of the downhill snowboarding last night, where a lot of people fell.
I mean, it's snowboarding.
Yeah, but it's still like you're an Olympic athlete. Don't fall. How about that?
I mean, Brooks.
Is that all I watched? Yeah, I watched curling and downhill snowboarding. I've enjoyed the Winter Olympics.
Now, I'm always going back to the Atlanta trip. Before we went to Atlanta, we were watching the triathlon. For skiing.
You mean the biathlon? Where they have the gun?
Huh?
Where they have the gun?
They were skiing. I don't know what it was. It's like a marathon.
Was there a gun on their back?
No.
Okay, so that was the cross-country skiing.
Yes.
Okay.
Those guys look so tired. They had to go up hills. They look weird.
That's also what I like. I like to watch the biathlon.
So
it's cross-country skiing and then target shooting. So like you ski, and then you come to a target and you lay down and you shoot.
Oh, I thought they're still skiing. They had to pull out a gun and shoot while they're on the move. I'm like, man, that is some.
No,
that is some like Brooklyn stuff right there.
That's your finesse points.
Oh my gosh! Oh,
I love the Winter Olympics. Obviously not as much as the Summer Olympics, but
yeah,
I can't wait because they're doing the luge right now. I can't wait for bobsledding. Bobsledding is my favorite.
Are you rooting for Jamaica?
No, I'm rooting for America. USA.
That's going to do it for the show today. And we really stuck to our motto from around the country and around the world. with the Olympics right there.
Yeah.
But thank you guys for listening.
You can never forget that together we swarm.
Georgia Tech.
Buzz buzz.
I don't have a name for him, so I guess would you say Stinger?
Stinger. That's a great name.
I guess I'll go with Stinger. So this little guy will be named Stinger from now on. My niece still won't see him. This is mine. It was just a lie. I made myself feel better at night.
You look like you're ready to go to bed right now.
Honestly, look, I'm a college student. I can go to bed whenever I feel like it.
That's very true.
Thank you guys for listening to the Extra Point here on WEGL 91.1 FM or online at WEGLFM.com. As always, if you want to catch up on the show, you can always catch us on our podcast on SoundCloud and on iTunes at WEGL 91.1 FM. If you want to see me, Brooks, and Stinger on the show today, you can watch us on Eagle Eye TV Channel 6. Don't you touch him. You can watch us on Eagle Eye TV Channel 6, on Eagle Eye's YouTube page, or at eagleeyeauburn.com later today.
We're not giving out exact times anymore because Jared
we are
times.
not. As always, whenever we're on, if you want to call in, you can call in at 334-844-9345. That's 334-844-9345. Thank you guys for listening to the Extra Point. What?
We're not going to answer the phone after this, though.
No, we are not going to answer the phone after this.
So if there's a music show on after us, if you want to call in and talk sports to them, feel free.
But no guarantee they know what they're talking about.
Yep.
Thank you guys for listening to the Extra Point here on WEGL 91.1 FM. For Brooks Childress, you got it in that time. For Brooks Childress,
I get it in every time.
Every time. For Brooks Childress, I'm Jared Dillard saying so long. Same time, same place. We'll see you next week.
Happy Mardi Gras.
Happy Mardi Gras.